Just by looking at this game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Las Vegas Raiders, you might not think this one's that interesting, but au contraire, insert French comment here. The point is, this is actually going to be kind of a fun game between the Jaguars and the Raiders because you've got two teams that, Raider City at 2-5, the Jaguars at 2-6. Kind of the same trajectory, at least to the start of the season. Both coaches, you're kind of wondering what's kind of going on at this point. Both teams, both quarterbacks, yada, yada, yada. Everything's matching up. Everybody's happy, or not really. The point is that this is an interesting game. By the way, it starts at 11. Make sure you guys check it out. Obviously, watch your football. You got to love it. Now, when you look at these two teams on paper, they're actually very similar. So you've got a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. Like, you're confident in these quarterbacks. I still love Trevor Lawrence. I still think he's that guy in Jacksonville. Obviously, they just need to continue to develop him and do his thing. Now you traded for Calvin Ridley before the trade deadline. I love that trade for next year. Obviously, he's suspended for this year. But you got Travis Etienne, who's played lights out this season. Just finished with over 100 yards last game. Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, Marvin Jones Jr., all those guys. I really like what I'm seeing, even from that offensive line. And then you get to the Raiders. A lot of similarities again. A lot of weapons. Obviously, Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, yada, yada, yada. The list goes on. The point is, these two teams actually have a lot in common in terms of offensive identity. They can put up points. They can do some different things. Their offensive lines, they're more, I would say, in the middle of the pack. I would give the Jaguars offensive line the edge over the Raiders line, just barely though, just barely. I think the Raiders offensive line is going to continue to get better, and then defensively, Roy Robertson, Harris, and all these guys, in my mind, have been pretty good. I do think that there's a lot of, like I said, growing up to do for the Jaguars. Obviously, you want to see how Travon Walker and company continue to perform, as well as Josh Allen, and how these guys get after it. I'm actually really excited for the future of Devin Lloyd and Josh Allen and Travon Walker and all those guys. Devin Lloyd's already a stud, but the secondary, I called it. Andre Sisco's a stud. I love it, absolutely love it. The secondary, like I said, for the Jaguars is pretty respectable. We've seen some good things from the Raiders secondary, but the defensive line, please just get after it. Max Crosby, really, in my opinion, been the only bright spot on that defensive line. It has been rough, and I get the fact that it takes time to be able to start things out and get things rolling, especially when you've got largely a lot of new players and everything. But it's just, can we please just get something rolling here? Like, it would just be very nice if some of these other guys could get to the pass, get the pass rush going and get to the passer. So, injury report. So Devontae Adams looks like he's a full go. Had that an illness. Derek Carr had a back injury. He's been full this entire week. Divine Diablo, as well as Neil Farrell Jr., both questionable, one with a back/wrist injury, and then Neil Farrell Jr. with a knee injury. Questionable also is Darren Waller. I just want this man to get on the field. I don't want him to rush it. I just want him to get on the field. So I'm really nervous to see how all this will kind of look. Also, I know Matt Collins has been limited. Hoping he can play because I got him on my fantasy team. But overall, I do think that this could be something to watch out for as the Raiders do go and take on the Jaguars. This could be, these injuries with Matt Collins. He's been kind of a security blanket for Derek Carr, Devontae Adams. 1 catch for 3 yards. We're going to erase that game, though. We're going to get over it, and we're going to move on. And then you look out for the Jaguars. Jamal Agnew, the only one that's questionable. You love it. Anytime that you can come out with only pretty much one injury, that's fantastic. So what about the keys to the game? So the Jaguars, I think you got to get Trevor Lawrence comfortable. I think it's got to be screens, Jamal Agnew, reverses, a little bit of play action, and then you got to get also a Travis Etienne involved as well. I think that's what you got to do is you got to, those screens, those runs, really get that going because I do think you can do that against the Raiders. Their run defense has actually been technically improved this year, but still, if you can establish the run against the Raiders, it usually is. It's tough to stop. Really for any team if you can establish a run. I think you got to let the D-line rush here. You got to let Travon Walker loose. All these guys. Now I'm not saying that they've been holding him back, but they've got to get after it. Those guys got to get after Derek Carr and company in that offensive line. Honestly, Colton Miller for the left tackle for the Raiders hasn't exactly had a great year, but I think that this could be something to watch between Travon Walker and company as well as Josh Allen. The defensive end, not the quarterback. I know it's a bad joke, but anyway, right tackle. tackle. For me, Darren Munford, I've pointed out in a video earlier the week, I think he could be kind of an interesting player to watch this week. I think he's had a couple of games where he's had over a 70.0 PFF grade overall. So he's been playing very well. I expect him to continue that trajectory, and he's been a very serviceable right tackle for the Raiders. I'm excited to see how he continues to progress. Coaching decisions for the Jaguars, whether it was the field goal situation a couple of weeks ago or just coaching, it's the most underrated thing these days. Like you go from a guy like Urban Meyer to Doug Peterson. You hope that he can do a lot of different things, really develop a guy like Trevor Lawrence and really take this team to the next level. I still think he can. I still think he's that dude, but he's just got to be able to make better coaching decisions, and I think that's really what, honestly, this game will come down to. As for the Raiders, you got to keep Josh Jacobs running. Just keep getting him the ball. I don't care. Screens, runs, just pound, pound, pound. This man, every single time this man has had over 100 yards this year, the Raiders win. That's not, and I mean, he doesn't necessarily need to have over 100 yards, but it's every time he has over 25 carries or whatever. 25 carries, or whatever it is. I don't care if it's 3rd and 7, run the ball. Just, you got to establish it. Keep getting this thing going. The Jaguars, I think they can get God on the inside, even though, like I said, I like this defense. I think they can do some things. You got to contain Travis Etienne as well. He has really shown up. I was kind of questioning the Robinson trade there, but overall, I like Etienne. I really do, even though my fantasy team should have picked him up. But the point is, you got to be able to contain him. You got to make Trevor Lawrence beat you. And when you do that, I think your defense is in line to be a lot more successful. Then please get after the passer. I know this Jaguars offensive line has been improved, but I don't care. Get after the passer. Do something different. Make Trevor Lawrence beat you. Because, honestly, if you put him in that position, I don't know that he can. If we're just taking a straight up look at the Jaguars as compared to the Raiders, I think you just got to be able to take care of business and do your thing. So I'm excited for this game. Both teams definitely going to need to win this one, and yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. But that's it. That is our Week 9 preview for the Las Vegas Raiders versus Jacksonville Jaguars. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. So give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about our Week 9 preview for the Las Vegas Raiders versus Jacksonville Jaguars.